Good evening, everyone. Today I want to talk to you about something that is meant for every single person who has ever fallen, ever failed, ever been broken, and who has thought that maybe life has nothing left to offer. Today's topic is from defeat to victory. These words may sound simple, but within them lies an entire journey. A journey that begins with pain and ends with glory, a journey that starts with tears and ends with smile, a journey where the path passes through the darkest valleys, but the destination sits on the brightest mountaintop. And let me tell you, the victory that comes after defeat tastes 1,000 times sweeter than the victory that comes without any struggle. Let me ask you something. If there were no defeat in life, would victory have any value? If there were no night, would the sunrise take your breath away? If there were no rain, will we ever see a rainbow? Defeat is that darkness that makes the light of victory shine brighter. Defeat is those tears after which the laughter is most real and most honest. So if you're going through defeat right now, do not panic, because you are on the journey from defeat to victory, and the best part of your story has not been written yet. But let me be clear, this journey is not magic. It is not an overnight miracle. It is a process. It is a grind. Everybody loses, but not everybody can turn that loss into a win. The difference is that some people treat defeat as the final chapter of their story. They close the book and say game over. But some people, the ones who change the world, they see defeat as the opening line of a brand new chapter. They say this is not the end. This is just a plot twist, and the best part is coming. You have to decide which kind of person you're going to be. The history of this great nation is built on stories of people who turned their greatest defeats into their greatest victories. Look at Abraham Lincoln. His mother died when he was 9. He grew up in poverty. He failed in business twice. He ran for office and lost again and again and again. He had a nervous breakdown. For nearly 30 years, this man experienced nothing but failure. Most people would have quit after the first few setbacks. But Lincoln did not quit. He kept going, kept fighting, kept believing. And in 1860, that same man became the 16th president of the United States, abolished slavery, and saved the Union. If Lincoln had given up after his 10th failure, America, as we know it, might not exist today. Look at Walt Disney. He was fired from a newspaper because his editor told him he lacked imagination. The man who created Mickey Mouse and built Disneyland was told he had no creativity. After that, he started several businesses that all failed. He was rejected over 300 times by bankers when he tried to get funding for Disneyland. But Disney did not stop. He said all our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. And he built the most creative entertainment empire the world has ever seen. Look at Oprah Winfrey, born into poverty, abused as a child, fired from her first television job because a producer said she was unfit for TV. The queen of television was told she did not belong on screen. But Oprah used that defeat as fuel. She became one of the most influential women in history, a billionaire, a media mogul, an icon. When someone tells you that you are not good enough, remember Oprah. Look at Michael Jordan, cut from his high school varsity basketball team. The greatest basketball player in history was told he was not good enough. He went home and cried. But after those tears dried, he practiced harder than anyone else, longer than anyone else, with more intensity than anyone else. 6 NBA championships, 5 MVP awards, a legacy that will never be matched. Jordan said, "I have failed over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed." And Steve Jobs co-founded Apple in his garage, poured his soul into it, then was fired for his own company at 30. But he said being fired was the best thing that ever happened to him. He created Pixar, came back to Apple, and turned it into the most valuable company on the planet. The iPhone, the iPad, all from a man who was once kicked out of his own company. Now, let me talk about the steps in this journey. The first step is accepting the defeat. Accepting does not mean giving up. It means being honest and saying, yes, I fell, yes, I made a mistake, yes, I did not succeed this time. Until you accept your defeat, you cannot learn from it. The person who denies failure, makes excuses, and blames everyone else stays stuck forever. But the person who says, I lost, now I understand why, and now I'm going to fix it, that person has already taken the first step toward victory. The second step is learning from defeat. Every failure carries a lesson inside it. When you fail a test, that failure shows you where your preparation fell short. When a business goes under, it shows you where wrong decisions were made. Every defeat is a teacher, but only if you are willing to pay attention. The third and hardest step is getting back up. Falling is easy. Staying down is even easier. But getting back on your feet, when every voice in your head is telling you to stay down, that takes something special. That strength comes from deep inside you, from a place you did not even know existed until you were forced to find it. Thomas Edison failed 10,000 times before inventing the light bulb. When asked how it felt to fail 10,000 times, he said, "I have not failed. I have just found 10,000 ways that do not work." He did not see failure as defeat. He saw it as data, as one more step closer to the answer. Every time you flip a light switch, you are benefiting from a man who refused to let 10,000 failures stop him. Let me talk about the courage to walk in the dark. When you have just experienced a major defeat, everything feels dark. You cannot see the path forward. Most people stop and wait for someone to come with a flashlight. But sometimes nobody is coming. Sometimes you have to be your own flashlight. Sometimes you have to take that next step based on nothing but faith and the stubborn refusal to stay down. The person who keeps walking in darkness eventually walks right into the light. I want to be honest with you. This road is brutal. You will experience loneliness because when you are losing, people disappear. You will hear people doubting you and writing you off. There will be nights when you cannot sleep, when the weight of everything feels crushing. But that pain is not destroying you. It is building you. Every tear is making you stronger. Every sleepless night is making you tougher. And when you finally reach victory, all of that pain will make sense. Have you ever watched a butterfly emerge from its cocoon? It struggles and fights with every ounce of strength to break free. Once a man felt sorry and cut the cocoon with scissors. The butterfly came out easily, but its wings were weak. It could never fly. It died. The struggle of pushing through the cocoon is what forces fluid into the wings and makes them strong enough to fly. Without struggle, there is no flight. Your defeat is at cocoon, and your victory is at flight. The struggle in between is what gives you your wings. So do not wish for an easier path. Wish for stronger wings. This nation understands this journey better than anyone. America was founded by people who lost everything and built a nation from scratch. The Great Depression brought this country to its knees. But Americans got back up and built the greatest economy ever. Pearl Harbor was devastating. But it united this country, and within 4 years America helped win World War II. September 11th shook this nation to its core. But Americans proved that no act of terror could break their spirit. From defeat to victory is not just a phrase here. It is the American story. It is in our DNA. And remember, victory does not always look the way the world expects. The person who beats addiction, that is victory. The single mother working 3 jobs to put her kids through school, that is victory. The veteran with PTSD who learns to live again, that is victory. The first person in their family to graduate college, that is victory. Do not let society define what winning looks like for you. Colonel Harlan Sanders was broke at 65 with nothing but a Social Security check and a chicken recipe. He drove across the country and was rejected over 1,000 times. But he kept knocking on doors, and eventually someone said yes. That yes became KFC, one of the most recognized brands in the world. At 65, when the world had written him off, he was just getting started. Friends, if today you are going through defeat, hear me when I say this. Your defeat is not the end of your story. This is just a chapter where the hero gets knocked down. But in every great story, the hero rises. Rocky gets back up. The underdog wins. The person everyone counted out proves everyone wrong. Today you are down, but tomorrow you will rise. The journey from defeat to victory is the most beautiful journey because in it you discover who you really are. Not who you are when everything is going well. That is easy. You discover who you are when everything is going wrong. And that is the real you, the strongest version of you, the version that cannot be broken. So make this promise to yourself today. No matter how many times life knocks you down, no matter how dark the night gets, you will get back up, you will keep fighting, and you will find your way to victory. Because you were not born to lose. You were built for greatness. And when that day comes, when you finally stand at the top and look back at everything you went through, you will say, thank God I did not quit. Thank God I tried one more time, because that one more time made all the difference. Thank you, and God bless you all.